teams who are hopping on the Zoom for this. So I just want to give people another minute to jump on here, and then we will get started talking about your Facebook facelift. Just going to see a couple more minutes. I hope you guys are doing well, and we'll get started here in about a minute. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started because this will be recorded. So if you're hopping onto this later, there will be the recording for this as well. But today I'm going to go over this for you guys. We're going to do a training on how to set up your Facebook page and attract more customers and distributors and get more engagements on your post. This was a training that I put together for a Super Saturday that we did here in Atlanta, and I had several of the other people there want to know if I could put this together for their teams, and I was already going to do it for Team Momentum. So that is how we are all here tonight, and I really appreciate your time. I do want to say before I get started, I am no expert in this, but I will say I've built my business pretty much through attraction marketing on Facebook. So I'm going to just share with you the tips and tricks, the stuff that I've learned, and I also want to just be very clear that this does not replace any live events. So obviously people are doing things, everyone builds their business in different ways, and this is a great thing that you guys can do, you know, on top of that stuff that you're already doing. If you tweak some things on Facebook and just learn, really I want to teach you guys the mindset of how to think about it. I think that it can really help. And I just want to say that this doesn't replace going out face-to-face, inviting people to events and all that kind of stuff. But you can tweak some things on your profile and the way you post and the way you interact on it, and it really will help your social media game with that. So I'm Melissa Swaney, Executive Director and Founder with Monate. Just a little bit, I'm going to share a little bit about my story just because some of you guys watching this are not on my team, so you have not heard it yet before. But I've been with Monate since it launched, pre-launch actually. And for me, it was kind of usually, when we try to talk and train on figuring out your why, I had kind of two whys going at the same time. So I was suffering from some pretty bad postpartum depression. I had 2 young kids at home. I really wanted to be home with my kids. It was incredibly important to me, and I also kind of lost myself in that. I was suffering from postpartum depression. I was overwhelmed, and I felt like I needed something for me. I missed my work. I really did enjoy working before that, and just adult interaction, basically. So I had been familiar with network marketing, and I knew that would be something that could let me stay home, as well as give something for me to do. Having to wash my hair, get out and talk to people, it would be something that would be helpful for me with what I was going through. So that was one part of it. And then the other part of it is, like I said, I was familiar with network marketing, and that was because in 2008, I was a realtor at the time, and I was approached with another business that had to do with, it's an online greeting card company. And I used that service with my real estate business, and that's how I learned about the network marketing model. And I was very fortunate that the person who introduced it to me happened to be dating the #1 income earner in that company. And so I got to see firsthand somebody, like a real person that I saw regularly living the lifestyle of network marketing, and then getting to meet all of their friends. And just, it was very much real in my mind that it's not just a dream, that people really do live financially free and have time freedom. So part of that was also in the back of my mind. And my husband was a chiropractor at the time and had his own office and was working a tremendous amount of hours. And, it's stressful having overhead and employees and dealing with insurance and all that. So in the back of my mind, I was always, really wanting this to take off and to be able to have the financial freedom and less stress and in that sense. So I found out about Monate from Facebook ad. I saw an ad about it. I reached out to my sponsor, Jackie, who had, I believe, posted the ad. And everything about it felt so amazing to me. It was, a brand new company. I mean, you guys all know you're in Monate, so you understand what an amazing opportunity is, but natural based, it's a consumable product. And I just jumped in without even trying the product. So fast forward 3 years, I'm here. My husband was able to sell his chiropractic office. We've moved to Atlanta. And that's been that's my story with it. So tonight you guys are going to learn what attraction marketing is and why do you need to care about it, how to make your Facebook profile attract you to your target market, the basics of engagement and getting more eyes on your posts, the secrets of engagement, and examples of types of posts to do. Okay, so what is attraction marketing? You guys, attraction marketing is basically a way that you brand yourself to where people are coming to you to buy product and to join your team. I can tell you right now at this level of where I'm at, the majority of my business is attraction marketing, meaning I literally get people messaging me, some of them friends and family and people I've known in my past, many of them people I've just met online, never met them in person, who ask to buy the product. Those are my customers, and those are the people that have joined me in my business. So it is a real thing, and it's a great thing. With marketing, you guys, there's passive marketing and active marketing. So attraction marketing really kind of is the passive side of it. It's the side where you're going to be posting, and you're going to be doing it in a way that piques curiosity. And then the active marketing is like when you're actually reaching out to people and asking, are you open to looking at the opportunity or the products? So I'm not talking about that part tonight. Tonight I'm just talking about the passive stuff. And this is kind of what my business is running on right now, but that does not mean that I don't actively prospect and I don't actively reach out to people as well. I just mean that I have a healthy amount of people that are flowing into my business through using these tips. So when we talk about branding and branding yourself, some people get confused when I talk about that, and they think that they need a fancy logo and color schemes and all that stuff, and that is not at all what I'm referring to. I actually, when I first heard about this, was thinking that like I have to become like some brand, and that's not what it is. When we talk about branding yourself, we're talking about like branding yourself with the business that you bought, but not your company. So branding yourself meaning letting people that you don't know, that don't know you yet, get to know you through the way that you're marketing on Facebook. We all know we just bought a business, you guys. If you've joined Monate, if you're new, or even have been doing this for 3 years, you're owning your own business. And so you have to kind of switch your mindset and think of that now you are building a business, right? So everything I post on social media is like strategic at this point. I'm not posting on Facebook for friends and families to see the pictures of my kids. I'm very strategic in the way that I'm posting, and I'm trying to build the brand and the story of my life and getting people to watch my posts, and then they start to feel like they know you, like you, and trust you, and that's when they want to join you in business or buy from you. A really great way to do that is by adding value. So we're going to talk about this a little bit later on also, but you want to be able to add value out in the marketplace. And that doesn't mean that you need to be talking about network marketing or talking about the products. When I say add value, you definitely can be doing that. I tend to do my Facebook Lives when I do them talking about network marketing tips or marketing tips. And that's usually just because that's my thing. I've done a lot of training in it, and it's something that, I'm passionate about. But I could be talking about certain types of dogs or traveling or anything. The point of it really is to give some sort of value where someone learns a little something. And in their mind, it makes them feel like you're an expert in something and that they're drawn to you and they're getting to know what you like. And attraction marketing, it's really real versus perfect. So you want to be authentically you. That's something that I'm also going to go into a little bit more in depth later. But the thing is you guys, you want to be yourself. And nobody can go on my Facebook profile right now and copy what I'm doing and get the same results. It's really, it wouldn't work. Because you need to find your voice and find who you are, and then be able to be vulnerable, to the extent that you can be. Maybe you're really funny, and so you do a lot of really funny posts, or you really are into gardening and like that's your thing. And so you start sharing the story of your life through that, and then people are going to start to want to connect with you and find out what you're doing. And then you obviously sprinkle in Monat through that, and that's how they get to find out about the company. But you don't want to brand the company. You definitely want to brand yourself. And the reason why, I'll go back to this other one. Oops. Sorry, guys. The reason why you don't want to brand your company is, if you think about it, you're trying to create a story where if you're meeting people, ideally you're meeting people online. I mean, the main part of this attraction marketing is for cold market prospects. It's to take people who have never met you before and take them into your world and make them feel like they know you. And so if you've got a big Monat on your cover photo and you're like holding products in your profile, people immediately are going to feel like there's something salesy going on about it. And so they're not going to be as open to like being drawn into what you're doing, because they might in the back of their mind think, well, she's just going to try to sell me on whatever that product is. So I obviously love Monat. It's my livelihood. I am so passionate about it, but I don't really even use the name Monat in a lot of my posts. I call it magic shampoo. And I really want people to ask, what am I doing? What is that? I don't want to walk around saying Monat all the time, because it looks like an infomercial and people get turned off by that. And especially with the changes coming up with Facebook right now, they're not even showing those posts to that many people. And so you're not getting a lot of engagement on it anyway. Okay, so now you kind of understand, hopefully, that background and mindset of what the attraction marketing is and can do for you. So the first thing to do is we're going to look at your profile. First and foremost, you're going to, if you're now going to be trying to market on Facebook, you need to make sure your settings are set to public. So some people don't realize that you can even do that, and right now it'll just say for your friends and family can see your stuff. If you're doing that, then the people that you're wanting to network, that you want to meet and become friends with you, they're not seeing any of your stuff. So you need to make it set to public if you're going to be doing this. And that's just in your settings. I also like to go in and hide my friends list, so people can't go in and find who my friends are. They can just go in and see my stuff. But I'm going to talk about how the profile is set up. So it's kind of blurry, so sorry about that. But okay, first of all, you've got your cover photo. Basically, you want someone, because you're going to be networking online and meeting people that you don't know. You want them to, if you friend request them or you're chatting with them online, be able to go look at your profile and in an instant kind of get an idea of who you are. So cover photo always needs to never be the company. I always do an inspirational quote. I try to change it once a month. It can be pictures of your family. It's whatever story you want to tell. And then your profile picture really needs to be a picture of you that's clear. It's of your face. You're smiling. This is very important, because when you're chatting with someone on Messenger, it's like your face that always pops up, and you want people to start recognizing your face, and you want them to feel like they know you. So if you had a picture of you and your daughter and your husband, and it's just popping up and people might not know who you are, can see your face, or if it's a picture of you and 5 friends, like that's confusing to people. You want people to be able to look at your picture. You want to look happy. You want to look inviting. You do not need to go do a professional photo in that. In fact, I think it's also probably better just to do like a selfie picture of yourself, because the professional photos also look very professional, right? And you're wanting to feel authentic. Like you want people to be drawn to you, like they can just have a conversation with you. So that's your picture, right? You've got your cover photo, your picture, and then you've got your bio. So right here, this is the bio part. Make sure you're filling this stuff out, because again, really quickly, someone could read this if they're glancing and they're networking with me online. Mine says, loving wife and perfect mother, thinking outside the box and living life to the fullest. You can put whatever you want on there. I would not put, Monat, stuff like that. Like, make it something clever and catchy about you. I've seen people do really fun, clever things that it's just kind of, they're cute to look at and makes you get an idea of someone's personality. So I do have Monat here, right? So I know some people train on don't put your company anywhere, which I don't want to do that, because I do want people to find me if they're searching for who works at Monat. I've had people find me that way as well. And then there's a ton of options you guys can do here for work and where you've lived and all that stuff. Don't make it too long. It doesn't need to be like a huge long thing, but just put a couple things in there. And down here is there's right below here, there's an option for photos, 5 photos. I don't know if everyone knows about this, but fill those out too. That's a quick glance, and those are the pictures that you pick. There's another section on your profile that all the pictures you're tagged in kind of filter through there. But these are the ones you pick, so you get to make that story. So I haven't changed mine in a really long time. I mean, my kids are 5 and 7 now, so this, you can tell how long ago I did this. But I should probably go in and switch it up a little bit. But I have a picture of me and my husband. I obviously have a daughter, and then I've got some happiness quotes. So somebody should be able to look at my profile really quickly, see that I've got an inspirational quote, I seem happy, I filled this out, and these are my quick pictures. So that's what the first thing for like the facelift of your profile is just really be intentional and think about what do you want people to think about you in the quick seconds that they're looking at your Facebook page. Okay, the basics of Facebook engagement. First of all, you guys, this is a process and it will not happen overnight. So you have to be consistent, especially like with the changes going on with Facebook and the algorithm. The algorithm is really just a learning machine. And so it's been spending months learning things that are going on inside Facebook, and then it's tweaking things. And so I know for a fact my engagement has gone way down. I used to post things and I would get like 100 people commenting on it. And now I get that if it's like a very specific type of post, which I will share with you guys later. But I just know a lot of people probably aren't seeing my stuff. And so you have to think of different ways to get your stuff out there. And we'll go over some of that. But you have to realize you have to be consistent. You can't think you're running your business on social media and then just post once a week. You have to be at least posting once a day, if not 2 to 3 times a day. And there are better times to post than others, but at least if Facebook can tell that you're on there and you're posting, they'll be more likely to show your stuff to other people. And that's the quick thing I wanted to say about Facebook is that, so a lot of people complain about the algorithm and it's like they hate the algorithm and it's destroying their stuff. The thing you guys have to put your head, just a different mindset shift to think about, excuse me, is that Facebook, the whole point of Facebook is to connect friends and family right around the world. They're trying to connect people around the world. They are not trying to be a platform for you to sell product at all. In fact, they don't want you on your personal page selling anything. They want people engaged and talking in like a community form. And so if you can keep that in the back of your head and realize that if you want your stuff to be seen by more people, you need to play like your Facebook. You need to play to what Facebook wants out of the world, because what they want is they want more people to advertise on Facebook so they can make money. And the more people are going to advertise, if those people are actually staying on Facebook, communicating and in community and talking. And so if you can kind of shift your mindset that it's not out to get you, but yes, things are changing, you just have to play kind of by their rules. And their rules, in all honesty, are they want authentic connections with people. So you're not going to get a post. If you post flash sale, you're not going to get a lot of people commenting on that and then having conversations about it. And so because of that, they're not going to show that post to a lot of people. And so if you kind of have to rethink about it, and you have to think about there's like 2.3 billion people on Facebook right now, that they have to figure out a way to show what posts go to what people. And that's part of what they're trying to do. And so you want to make sure the stuff you're posting is really rich in content and value, or funny, or engaging, or something. And don't feel the pressure that it has to be every post like this. I can explain this to you guys later, but just keep this in the back of your mind that you can tweak the way you're talking about things, or just the intention that you have behind it, and it will make a difference with how many people actually are seeing your stuff. And that's all we want. There's no point being on Facebook if no one's seeing your stuff you're posting, because you are trying to build relationships and you are trying to sell product. Okay, so it's a process. This is not going to happen overnight. You just have to be consistent. And one thing to really get more engagement on your posts and more people seeing your things is if you're engaging with other people on their posts and in groups. So if you think back to what I was talking about with Facebook, they want people talking to each other and in community. So the way to get more people to comment on your things is to actually go in and comment on other people's things. When you see people, you can do, I know we talked about this in boot camp, like you can make a friends list. You can make a list within Facebook of people that you go in and frequent, and just if they're posting something, go in and comment on it. And the more thought you put into the comment, instead of just like cute, but like actually, I just heard this, that Facebook is now weighing if you actually enter in more than 100 characters on a comment on a post, it's going to weight that as a more important post to the person who posted it, and show it to more people. So they're checking everything. Like a like doesn't get as much pull as like if you actually put in a smiley face or a funny face, or not face, but the heart button, the like button. You can like something or love it. So if you're actually picking an emotion, they show that to more people. The more people who are commenting on your things, they think this is a relevant post. Like, I'm going to show this to more people that they're friends with. So your goal is posting for social media is to like basically see how much engagement you can get, because that's going to get that post on more people's eyes. And when people do comment on your post, always go back and respond, because that's showing them you're in communication, you're in conversation with that person. So I'll go back in and go in, and if somebody comments on my post, I always go back and reply and either say thanks or try, if you can get them to have more of a conversation there on your wall, that's ideal, because that's going to start showing it to more people. Oops. Okay, so you want a mix of lifestyle, business, inspirational, and personal. You just want to tell the story. You want to use the 5-to-1 rule. So when you are posting, you do want to show and paint that picture of your lifestyle and the things that you're interested in. And obviously, you still want to put Monet in there. Like I'm not getting people coming to me asking me to buy my shampoo if I'm never posting about shampoo. So I do that. I just don't do it all the time. And I've tested it. Like it's something is so amazing about our company and our product, because I for a while wasn't posting anything like that. I've heard from the trainers, don't ever post that kind of thing. And I just realized like our stuff is so unique and so different out there that every time I post a before and after picture, I have at least one person private message me. And I don't want to overdo it, but people are watching, and it's unique stuff. And if you can find a different picture or talk to a different person's pain point when you're showing those pictures, you'll be surprised of how many more people kind of start noticing. So 5-to-1 rule, I'll do around 5 pictures of other things, lifestyle, kids, inspirational quotes. Those are the easiest thing, you guys. There are tons of those out there. You can literally Google inspirational quote memes, and they're already done for you. So just throw those up there. The more you can write what your thought is on above the post, just so people can start getting to understand like you and your thoughts. Those are easy to sprinkle in, and they're motivating. Everyone wants to be around someone positive and motivating. So you're going to post 2 to 3 times a day. You're going to want to figure out the best times of the day to post. I have to be honest, I don't always do this because I've got a really hectic schedule, so I post when I post. But there is a strategic times that people could be posting that I've heard a lot more on, and I've started doing it, and I have seen it different with my engagement. And I'll just talk a little bit about that, because this is something I just heard a training on, and it was pretty fascinating. And so I learned that a lot of people, there's a guy that was training on how most people pick up their phone like the first thing in the morning, right? It's usually people's alarms. And that's when they'll scroll real quick while they're getting up ready before they get their kids to school or whatever their day is. And so that's a great time to post, like 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., something like that, where someone could just see it. But he was even going into not like you wouldn't want to post a really long post right then, because you have to really put yourself in the mind of the person you're trying to reach through your posts. So if I do a funny mom post in the morning, like first thing in the morning, like I get a lot of engagement, because there's moms checking their phone before they're taking their kids to school. Another one is lunchtime. So if someone's at the office, they usually scroll through real fast, or carpool time between 2:30 and 4:30 when there's people driving carpool, sitting in the carpool line. And then anytime after 9 p.m. at night, that's usually when people are at home on their phones, their kids are asleep, and they're like, you can really get people's vulnerabilities coming out then because they've got more time to read stuff. So I had never heard it in depth that way before, but it makes a lot of sense. Again, it doesn't mean that that's how I post every single day, but if you keep that in the back of your mind, it might make you just kind of think about what kind of posts you want to post when. And last, the basics of engagement. You guys, Facebook Lives. I'm going to be real honest. I was terrified to do Facebook Lives. I have learned, when I found out about, I forgot to mention this, but when I learned about Monat, I did not know what I was doing. I was spamming people. I would send these long, drawn-out messages to people through private message. And I just didn't know the proper way of marketing. But when I started learning, one of the first things I learned back then was how important videos were. They didn't have Facebook Live then, but just even video. And I wouldn't do it. And I had every excuse in the book, like any excuse you can think of, I wouldn't do it. And I'm kicking myself now because I know that I've missed out on a lot from not doing them. But recently I started doing them. And the way that the Facebook Lives work, you guys, and why it's so important in your business is because that's the fastest way to get someone to get to know you for who you are. It doesn't matter what you're talking about because they're seeing your mannerisms, they're hearing your voice, they feel like they're talking to you, and you don't need a fancy background. This was literally one of the reasons why I didn't want to do videos. I had many, but one of them was like, well, I don't want to put up a fancy background and have to get a fancy light, and like the thought of doing all that was so overwhelming to me because I suffer. I mean, I've talked about I still have depression and anxiety issues, and it just seemed like one more thing on top of like even picking out what the backdrop would be, and like it just seemed too much, so I would just avoid it. And the truth of the matter is if you just get your phone and talk into it like you're talking to your kids on FaceTime, that makes the person watching it feel 10 times closer to you because they feel like you're talking to them. So Facebook Lives, an example of how I really realized that this works is I used to watch Tanya Eliza's trainings all the time. And she's a phenomenal network marketer trainer. I highly recommend anyone looking her up. And about 2 years ago, she had a mastermind that I applied for. And I got in, so it was at her house. We got to fly out there. And I'd been watching all of her trainings. And she opened up the door to her house. And I was like, hey, like I felt like I knew this woman, like we were best friends. And she had no idea who I was. I mean, we had an interview on the phone. She had never seen me. We had never met in person. And that's when it kind of dawned on me that you're watching someone live no matter what they're doing. And you feel like you know them even if you don't. So I can't express enough how important Facebook Lives are. And just besides that fact, you're also going to get way more engagement because Facebook puts way more weight on Facebook Live videos. So they're showing it to way more people. So I can get like over 1,000 people watching a Facebook Live video of mine. And I know for a fact 1,000 people do not see my posts. And once I started doing the Facebook, I was really consistent. Once I started, I got over my own issues. I was like, screw this. I have to do this. I have to get outside my comfort zone because I would be training to the team that you guys have to do this, and I would just be terrified and I wouldn't do it. So I was really consistent up until our leadership summit, and I need to get back to it because I kind of fell off the wagon on doing it. But when I was doing it consistently, all of my regular posts got a lot more engagement. I got a lot of more people commenting. I met a lot of more people from doing it. They're so key and so important. So I highly recommend, I'm telling you, I really know the fear that goes behind it. And if you can step outside your comfort zone and just start doing it, talking about anything, it doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have to be about product. It doesn't have to be about network marketing tips, but it can be. Or if you're nervous, ask someone to go live with you. Like now you can bring someone in live with you. Just do an interview or just talk with someone, but just get yourself out there, and then people will start to feel like they know you, and that's when they're going to want to start doing business with you. Okay, so what works with engagement tips? There's something called the 10-10 rule of engagement. This is, again, in theory of what, if you're thinking like what Facebook would want. If you go on to Facebook 10 minutes before you're going to do a post and go in and message people, but, comment on people's things and go into Messenger and chat with some people, and you're active on Facebook, and then you do a post, Facebook thinks you're actually on the platform and working it, so they're going to reward you by showing it to more people. And then if you stay 10 minutes after, chat with people, comment on people's things, it's going to just continue to boost your post out there for more people. I've tried this. It really does work. I don't do it every time. Like I said, I don't have 20 minutes every time I'm going to post something to do this, but it's just something to keep in the back of your mind, and just to remember that you want to think like Facebook, in the sense that they just want people in community talking and engaging. Another tip that works is curiosity. That's one of the number one things I always tell people is, don't just spill it out there what you are trying to sell or what you're doing, because then no one's going to reach out to you and ask. They wouldn't need to. So if you say, if you're posting, I don't even know, if you're posting something like, I love Monat's shampoo or something, nobody needs to ask you, what shampoo are you using? But if you say, I love my new magic shampoo, you're going to get people saying, well, what magic shampoo is it? So if you just kind of think you're wanting to draw people into you. Sorry, I think I just spelled something wrong there. But anyway, you want people to be asking you questions. Okay, so then you want to engage with other people and like and comment. So that's what I was talking about. Go in. If you've got prospects that you're working with, go in. Don't always talk about the product. Don't always talk about the opportunity, but go in and genuinely comment on their stuff with like meaning, with intention and with value on the stuff that they're doing. When people comment, I talked about that. If they're commenting on your post, always go in and reply to them. You can tag them in it too, because that's just tying you in with that person. And that's telling Facebook that you have a relationship with this person. You guys are talking back and forth. So they'll show your post to that person more frequently. Asking questions, because that's the one thing I have noticed myself, is that when I ask, like, I'll post things and I'll get here, comments here and there, but when I ask a question, there are people that come out of the woodwork that I had no idea were seeing my stuff. And it's because people like to answer the questions. And I'm not just talking like, do you like chocolate or wine? Like, a lot of people aren't going to comment on that. But when I'm asking like for someone's opinion on something, I noticed that when I randomly asked someone, I hadn't bought jeans in a really long time, and I randomly said, does anyone have a recommendation of a good brand of jeans? And I had tons of people comment on it. And then there's some other ones that I will talk about when I show actual posts. But asking a question, people want to help each other. And the cool thing about the questions are you can actually get like a community of people talking to each other within your post. I asked a question about some natural ADD medication for my daughter, like things that people do for kids who have attention issues. And there were so many people that were commenting and talking to each other, and it was a great resource for people to go back to who might have had that same question. And then excitement, positivity. Obviously, you don't want to be negative. And then there's the authenticity, which we're going to talk about all of this stuff more. What doesn't work? You guys don't put your link in the post. So here's the issue with links. Again, we're going to think like Facebook, and Facebook doesn't want you leaving Facebook because they want to make money from the people who are advertising there. So if you put any link in your post, they're not showing it to that many people because they don't want people to click it and go somewhere else. Besides that, I wouldn't be putting your link in there anyway, because you don't want someone just to go to your link on your Monat webpage and try to buy themselves shampoo without talking to you. You really want to have a personal relationship with them, and you want to help coach them on what products they even need. And then same with joining your team. Like, I don't think anyone would just join someone's team without speaking to you first. So putting your link in the post doesn't make sense to me. If you do want your link in there, put it in the comments. That's the way to get around it. But in all actuality, you really want to be talking to these people and forming a relationship with them for them to be buying anything from you or to be joining your team. So anything that looks like an infomercial or spammy or salesy, Facebook isn't showing that to people. Not to say that I don't post the flash sales on my page, but I can try to think of creative ways to pique people's curiosity with it, but sometimes I do. I just also know a lot of people aren't seeing it when I do that. You don't want to post too much. So if you're posting like 6, 7, 8 times a day, you're just competing with yourself, because Facebook doesn't know what post to show to who, and it's like by the time it starts to show your post to people, you posted another one. And then you don't want to post too little, because then it's just telling Facebook, I'm not active on your platform, so you shouldn't be showing my stuff to people. Okay, Okay, so don't be an infomercial on how to beat the algorithm. Examples of words not to use on Facebook or posts. They've actually, this is part of the learning machine that the algorithm is, and they do not show words like this to a lot of people. If you're talking about money, free, giveaway, enter to win, like us, like this, share this post, discount, coupon, sale, or if you're typing in all caps, like they've learned that people don't like that. They're literally watching what everyone is doing on Facebook. So if people keep scrolling past things that are all in caps, the algorithm is like learning about it, and it is saying people don't like caps. And so there are things that's how they're kind of navigating on who to show and what post to show. So just keep that in mind. If I type free, I always like put a space in between the F and the R, or I'll put a period in there. It looks kind of funny, but then it's just my maybe shot that it'll be given out to more people. The post will be seen. Okay, so the types of posts to use to propel your business and your brand. These are the ones that I've identified. Lifestyle posts, curiosity posts, achievement posts, engagement posts, and authenticity posts. Okay, so with the lifestyle post, we've talked about this. You're going to brand yourself, your lifestyle, your interests. You could do random fun posts about what you're doing, inspirational quotes, family photos. If you've got pet photos, funny memes. If any of you are moms out there, there are some funny mom posts that get a lot of engagement because, you know, moms are all feeling each other's pain, and they comment on those. Feel good posts, positive posts, and then showing what life can look like. So I like to sprinkle in a lot of that stuff that I'm out doing with my daughter in the middle of the day, and then I'll just at the end say something about how I'm so grateful to be able to work from home and have these moments. And it's just a way for people to start watching that and thinking, gosh, I want to be home in the middle of the day with my daughter, being able to do that kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and show you some examples of my posts to give you guys a better understanding. So these are some examples of my lifestyle posts. I have one with my daughter. I said yesterday after ballet, the special mom and daughter date went down. Parents, if you're ever feeling like your kids are acting out a little bit more than normal, a great thing to do instead of reacting in anger to their outbursts is to take them on a one-on-one date. More times than not, they are acting out because they need attention. A little special one-on-one attention goes a long way and usually does the trick. So in here, yes, I went out with my daughter, but I'm posting about it to just, this is me and my daughter. This is kind of some of my philosophy on how I think about parenting, just trying to get more people to know me and my life that way. This one, it says you are enough. Let me repeat that so it goes through. You are enough. And then up here I put, it's taken me a long time to believe this for myself, and I still struggle with it. But let me assure you, you are enough. Good enough, smart enough, friendly enough, brave enough, strong enough. Just being you is enough. I'm going to talk a little bit about this right now and be a little bit vulnerable with you guys. I have to tell you, for the past couple of years when I was posting, I would just post this part of it, right? I didn't really want to add anything to a lot of the inspirational posts that I would put on there because I've also, like I said, I went through a bout of depression and anxiety even after I joined Money. And I just wasn't authentic. Like I honestly thought I needed to post a lot of like those boss babe, like in high heels, power suits, building my empire posts. And I did. I mean, they obviously worked because I still was recruiting people, but that's not who I am. And not that there's anything against it, but that wasn't really truly authentically who I was. And I really felt that I needed to portray that for people to want to join my business. And so when we start talking about the authenticity posts, which are coming up, but this is part of it, all these posts kind of like combine into each other. Some of them have curiosity. But when we start talking about it, I just want you guys to realize how important it is to find your voice, whatever it is. And once you're able to really tap into that, and I'm telling you, I've only started doing this in the past couple of months, even though I've been doing this business for 3 years and studying this stuff. It's hard to get there and to be vulnerable. And it's important. It's like an important transition, I think. And people then really can understand who I am. And it's only propelled my business even more when I started doing it. Okay, so then here's an example back to lifestyle posts about, this is my dog. I just put good morning shelter dog. So if you have pets, I'm not particularly a dog person, but some people are diehard pet people. I like to sprinkle my dog in there every once in a while, and I'm just trying to be relatable to other people. This one is just pictures of me and my kids on the St. Patrick's Day parade. I put long gone are the days of green beer and shenanigans for this gal. This mom has traded it all in for Irish dancing, loving daughter's parade, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I'm just trying to paint a picture. If you see this stuff, when you'll see, like, these are all clips of my Facebook wall, you'll get an idea and a sense of who I am. And that's the whole point of this, is it doesn't matter what you think. Everyone has different beliefs. Everyone goes through different things, and they have their own stories. But you can portray it on your Facebook wall to where people feel like they know me, even though they've never met me. And that's what we're trying to do. More examples of lifestyle posts. It doesn't matter if you're in my company, a different company, or not at all. I put starting a girl gang of women supporting other women. So hands up if you want in, because we're all going to get jackets or something like that. So again, this is just saying I like to support other women. Like, I'm ready to jump in and support. I don't care if you're in my company or a different company. The next one, I won't read all this, you guys, but it's just basically talking about how I was able to take my daughter on a random Monday to go to the American Girl doll store for her birthday, and we got a hotel out in the suburbs and went swimming. So I kind of talked about that. But at the bottom of it, I said I'm beyond grateful to work from home so I can just live my life by design. I wouldn't have missed this experience for the world. So I was talking about all this stuff, and then I'm throwing in this part of it just to be like, I'm so blessed that I get to do this. Like, not that many people can go just in the middle of the week, take their daughter to go shopping in an American Girl doll store. And so I'm trying to sprinkle some of that in there without being so apparent about it. And then this one I put, I'm on a quest to be 100% authentic, the good, the bad, and the hot mess. So that's another thing. I'm scattered. I've got ADD, and I post about that frequently. That was easier for me to post about, the hot mess part, and just kind of being a scattered mom. The talking openly about depression and anxiety was much more difficult for me. And if you'd asked me 5-6 months ago, I would have been horrified and terrified to even admit that I suffered with any of that, because I really thought in my head that I needed to portray myself as this different person for someone to want to do business with me. And the truth of the matter is everyone struggles with something. And just because I do suffer from that, it doesn't mean that I don't go to work and I don't do what I need to do to build my business. So I've embraced that now, and it's much easier for me to talk about it, where I really would have never wanted to even admit that to people. And I'm not saying even if you suffer from anything like that, or that you need to make your life a big open book. Like, everyone's journey is different, but I'm just saying it's freeing to be able to just be you and realize that that's not going to stop people from wanting to do business with you. It actually does the opposite and makes people want to do more business with you, because people are searching for authenticity out there. There are a lot of people on social media that are portraying fake lives because you can easily do it. But when you actually open up your heart and tell a little bit more about your story or who you truly are, I think it's refreshing for people. Okay, so curiosity posts. Do not use your company name. We've talked about that. It doesn't, again, like I said, it doesn't mean I don't use Monate sometimes, but I usually will erase if I'm doing a testimony from someone, I usually delete the Monate word and put magic shampoo. That's just what I use for it. You want to have people reaching out to you and asking you what you are doing or selling. So when I say, I can't believe the magic shampoo did this or whatever, people who don't know what Monate is literally will reach out to me and say, what is this magic shampoo? And then that's how I then put them through the process that we have in place, just put them into Facebook groups and ATM groups and all that kind of stuff, and find out what their hair needs are and before and after pictures and all that stuff. But if you see how this works, I'm not reaching out to somebody that I don't know saying, hey, are you open to trying my product? I'm posting something in a way that's making people ask me what it is, and that starts the conversation. So it's so much easier to do. It's a much easier way to sell this way when people are reaching out to you instead of having to reach out to them. So here's examples of curiosity posts. Hooray for Hair Wash Day. Proof you can have amazing hair regardless of your age. At age 41, after having 5 kids and suffering from hyperthyroid, I now have better, healthier hair than in my 20s. I suffered for 5 years in my 30s with bad hair, breaking off, hair loss, thinning, postpartum, and completely stopped growing. I'm so thankful for my amazing discovery that completely transformed my hair. Ladies, you don't have to suffer from bad hair. Your kids' age and medical conditions don't define your hair. There is hope. I'm proof. So the one thing I really liked about this woman, I don't even know who she is, but I saw one of her posts. She kind of here in this part talks about what a lot of people's pain points are. And if you can get someone hooked on what you're doing based on what their pain is and what they're suffering from, they're going to listen. So she talked about a lot of them: breaking off, hair thinning, postpartum, hyperthyroid, stop growing. If I was scrolling past that and I had any of those issues, which I have, I had postpartum hair loss like really bad before I found 1-8. I would stop and if you read that, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is she using? She doesn't even say what it is. So that person would then reach out to her and ask what it is, and that's the whole point. That's a great post, I think. This one says, same amount of shampoo in both pictures. First wash is getting off any product buildup, and the second wash is actually washing your hair. I swear there's a science to this madness. Look at the lather on the second time. So if I'm looking at that, I would be like, why is she shampooing her hair twice? Like, people don't realize you have to shampoo their hair twice until you explain it to them. But it wouldn't even make sense to me. And so I would ask, what is that? Right? Because why would you be washing your hair twice? Why is it once not lathering and one time it is? I mean, that's a great post. I would think someone would just ask, what are you doing? Plus, the fact that she got in the shower and did that it draws attention to it and makes me want to ask. And then this one says, do you all have any idea how much time I used to spend fixing my hair? All the products, all the time spent blow drying, all the time spent flat ironing. It literally took me 45 minutes, even on my quickest day, to wash, dry, and style. Do you know how long it took me today? 18 minutes once it was washed. I simply applied products and blow dried. That's it. No flat iron, and look how smooth my hair is. And the time saved is priceless. So she doesn't even say in there, I'm so glad I found this special shampoo. Like, she doesn't talk about I'm selling anything. She's literally just telling people this saves me time. And if you have any issues with being annoyed that it takes you a really long time to wash your hair and get your hair dried, you're going to want to read this. And then I would ask, well, what is it you're doing? And so there's ways you guys can word things to get people to reach out. Here's another one. I really can't believe it. I didn't realize how thin and stringy my hair was until I compared it to these pictures. All I did was change my shampoo. So she got to show what her hair looked like before, what it looks like now. And I would ask, well, what did you change your shampoo to? This is a great one for the opportunity. It says, the box arrived. It's not just the contents in the box, but what it holds. Goals, hopes, dreams, a new future. After a year of watching a dear friend, submerging myself in research, I've gone outside my comfort zone and jumped in. Everything I was, I carry with me. Everything I will be lies waiting on the road ahead. So that's cool. She took a picture of the starter kit box out in the middle of a road, and she's basically launching her business, saying she's going into business, but doesn't say anything about what she's going into business for or what she's doing. I would look at that, and if I was a friend or just curious, because it's a creative post, I would say, what's in the box, or what are you doing? And then the last one for curiosity, it says, wow, she got this results even before we launched our new anti-frizz smoothing primer, just launched 3 days ago. I can't wait to hear what she thinks when she adds it to her arsenal. And it's just someone talking about, her hair. So these are some quick examples. You guys can think outside the box and get creative. But the whole point of this is to get you starting to think of how can I post things in a way that doesn't say what I'm doing and still brings people in to want to ask more. Then there's the achievement posts, so team recognition, success stories from your teams, products before and afters. These are great to sprinkle in too, because you guys are building a team, and if you don't have a big team yet, you can always rely on your upline, your sponsor, the success that their team is, because you guys are all one big team. So if I ever post anything about, like, our team does over $1 million a month in shampoo, it's amazing, but that's not me doing it, right? And if I'm posting it, anyone can take that and post that it's their team too, because we're all one big team. But that's just showing excitement, and that, it's a way to say I'm in business. I am doing business without fully coming right out talking about 1-8. So here's a couple achievement posts. Congratulations on an amazing month. Almost $650,000 of shampoo sold in 1 month. That's a lot of head of hair touched by you and your fabulous team. Not to mention how many families' lives you're changing financially with this gem of an opportunity. Congratulations, my friend, and have fun launching your new team in the UK this weekend. So this is a post I did for one of my leaders, Donica, last month. And I posted it on her wall. I did that for a couple of reasons. One, I would love to just recognize her and give her some recognition. She has a phenomenal team. But this is also on her wall, so now people are seeing that. If she's prospecting anyone right now online on social media, they're seeing like me as her upline, congratulating her publicly about her accomplishments, and it speaks volumes about her as a leader. And then it's also for her team to be like, hey, that's amazing, that's the team I'm on. So recognizing your teammates, I think, are so important. Here's another one I saw. This is not my team, it's just I saw someone else's team post this, but it says, what a month. It's time to recognize some of these rock stars on Team Sassy. If you know any of these Sass shampoo slingers, then please give them congratulations for being in the top 10. So same thing, she's congratulating the people in the top 10 in her sales. Here's an achievement post. This also, this could be curiosity, this could be a lot of things, but I can get used to this. I haven't seen a $0 in well never. So this is basically a credit card bill that I got that I owed $0 on it. And I'm doing this really just to, if somebody's like looking at their credit card bill thinking, I have so much credit card debt, this is like a way for me to say, it says this one I did actually put Monate helps. I don't normally tag Monate and stuff, but that they could see this and be like, okay, what is this, right? Like, tell me, how did you get this? For party achievement posts, I also say that's part of before and after. So here's one, just that this stylist can say she truly found her magic shampoo, and then her stylist kind of talks about what she did. So this person did not put Monate at all in here. They're calling it magic shampoo. Another achievement post, that says, my sweet friend Amanda was able to take her kiddos to Hogwarts after just 2 months of selling magic shampoo. I'm so excited to see all the pics from her trip. And yes, shampoo paid for the whole thing. So again, if somebody sees this and they're like, I want to take my family to Disney, I think if this is whatever Hogwarts is, how does she get to do that just selling shampoo? Like, this is what you want to do, is you want to have people ask, how did they get to do that? Or I want to do that. And then this, I just love this before and after picture, but it says, I hated my hair, hated it. Now 5 months on the volume line, and I love my hair. Love. So these are great results. I would ask, what is she using? And so when you post things like this, without being like so obvious about what it is, that's how you get people asking you what it is you're selling, or what product is that. So then we're going to talk about the engagement posts. These are asking a question, asking for an opinion, using humor, and the GIF option. These draw probably one of the most amounts of engagement that I get. Just like I said, people really want to give their opinion. And I'm not just posting like, do you like carpet or hardwood floor? Like, I'm asking things that I either really want to know personally. Like, we went to Destin, so I just said, what are some things we should do with a 4- and 7-year-old when it's supposed to be raining cold? Like, I legitimately wasn't posting this because for some marketing idea, I wanted to know what people knew. And I got tons of great comments. It actually ended up planning our vacation when we were down there through lots of stuff that I learned from this. It's Monday afternoon. Let's have some fun. Show us what school mornings are like in your house. So stuff like this are hilarious. When people put their funny GIFs in the comments, it just brings humor to people, and these are fun. And again, you guys don't want to do one. You don't want to focus on doing like just asking a question every day. You really want to strategically sprinkle all this stuff in so it paints a story. So even though I know when I ask questions it gets a lot of engagement, I don't ask them all the time. I don't ask them very frequently at all. But kids are asleep, husband is asleep, any suggestions on what to watch on Netflix or Amazon Prime? Anytime you ask people like what to watch on Netflix, usually gets a lot of engagement. And this is an example of the one I was talking about earlier, the authenticity. It said, I know there are some moms out there who've done the research looking for all recommendations of things to try for a child with ADD, inattention, not hyperactive, and not medication. Let's face it, her mom might need to try some of these options as well. I put some of these things, oops. Oops, you guys, hold on 1 second. I just realized this is the wrong. Hang tight, you guys. This is my technical difficulties, as you're seeing. Here we go. Okay. So as you can tell with my scatteredness, I had 2 PowerPoints open. This is me being very vulnerable and authentic, but again, I'm embracing that this is just how I am. So I had the wrong one up. So hold on one second. Anyway, as I was talking about my daughter with inattentive issues, here I am with my inattentive issues. But this one is the one I was talking about that I didn't need to put in there that her mom might need to try some. I didn't need to put all that stuff in there. But I'm being more vulnerable and being more honest about the things that I struggle with and just who I am. And it's just a fact of who I am, right? So I'm not going to be portraying myself as I used to, which is this woman who has all of her crap together and is like power woman, boss babe, and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't as authentic to me as being able to talk about mental health issues or talk about just being scattered. And it's okay. This has not stopped me when I switched over from doing that to this. In fact, I can tell you another story, and I will, about how I actually had a woman reach out to me because of these types of posts and wanted to bring her whole team over from another company to add on to what they were already doing because she felt that I seemed authentic and real. And so if you can take anything from this, I just want everyone to feel comfortable with being themselves and not to try to hide it, and that just to know that it actually does draw people closer to you if they feel like there's an authentic connection. And that brings me to the authenticity post. I truly believe these are the most important posts, and like I've been open with, I didn't really start doing these until a couple months ago. True authenticity posts, true opening up what I'm going through, or just that things I have struggled with, or just my whole insight and opinion on, like I said, those memes. I would just throw them up there, those little inspirational quotes, and I would never put what I thought about them in there. Like I just was very closed off about all that stuff. And now I'm going to show you some of my authenticity posts, and they're really long, and you don't need to write novels like this. There is a certain type of ad that's called a story ad that actually they do teach on writing long copy ads and how it really does help draw people in, and you can get good sales off of it. But don't feel like you need to tell some story and pour out your heart like some of these posts I'm going to show you. I'm just showing them to you as an example of I finally, once I really stepped out and started really, truly, authentically being myself, things have shifted big time in my business. So authenticity posts are being vulnerable, being yourself. You don't have to be perfect, and you share your thoughts, your struggles, and it makes you relatable. So you have to realize everybody struggles with something. It doesn't have to be the same thing that you struggle with, but everybody can relate on some level to something that you're being open about. And another cool thing about this authenticity thing, there's another trainer, Cesar Rodriguez, who's actually married to Tanya Eliza, told this story when I was at their house, that he did an experiment once where he had the backdrop set up and got professionally looking in a nice shirt with a button-up shirt or whatever, and he gave some training. And he posted it on Facebook. And then he waited a day or two and then just put his hat on backward, got in his car, and said the exact same thing, driving in his car, nothing scripted, nothing planned. And he had way more engagement and way more people commenting on it and watching it. And it's true. It's, if you think about it, if you see someone very planned out and scheduled and, proper, and it would feel more like a presentation that you're watching than if you're just seeing someone being themselves in their daily life and what they're doing. So that was interesting when you said that, and I can completely see how that works. But this is what, okay, so this is an example of an authenticity post. And I'm going to just tell you the psychology, what I was thinking when I did this. This was the training I did last weekend or 2 weekends ago, the training that I'm doing right now. And it's a picture of me in front of the market partners that were there. I could have easily, first of all, I'm not big in selfies and all that stuff, but I'm doing this. I'm really thinking strategically of what do I want to portray on my social media, because that's how I'm building my business. And I could have put this picture up there and easily said something like, great training today with the shampoo slingers. I could have done that, right? And it still would have been fine. I would have posted it. It would have gotten the point across that I was doing a training, right? Because I would like to show myself as a leader that I do trainings on my social media. That's why I do talk about it. I do want to attract people to say, I want to work with someone who's doing trainings or is out in the field doing stuff like events. But I didn't, and I wrote this, and I'm going to read it to you guys, and I just want you to kind of see I'm opening up myself to people, and I got a ton of engagement on this post where I would not have done that. I would not have gotten engagement, and people wouldn't have commented if I had just said, I'm so glad I got to do this training. So I put, I'm not going to lie, sometimes I hide behind my phone. I was able to build a global business from this thing, so I feel safe behind here. But sometimes you have to conquer your fears and step outside of your comfort zone. And today was that day. I was asked by a good friend and business partner to train a group of men and women on Facebook and attraction marketing, a subject near and dear to my heart. But that required me to train in person, like having to public speak. I have no problem doing live trainings for my teams and my group because I can hide behind the computer, but public speaking is a huge fear of mine. But I can't ask my team to step outside of their comfort zone unless I'm willing to do it myself. So here are some of the dynamite group of shampoo slingers I got to train today. And in a day and age where we can hide behind our phones and build massive organizations, today reminds me just how important in-person human connection can be. So for the end results for today, I met amazing men and women from all over different backgrounds with one common goal to better their lives. And I smashed through my fear, spoke for 45 minutes, and I lived to tell about it. It wasn't so bad. So if you guys can see the difference of opening up and saying I was terrified, I hate public speaking, I really do. And I didn't need to share that, and I didn't need to, but I also, if you look at this, I was also at the same time saying, oh, I've built an organization from my phone. Like, I want someone to read this, and yes, people were commenting, like, great job, you smashed through your fear, or whatever, but I also want people to see the fact that I'm like, hey, I did this all, I built an organization from my phone. Like, there are little things in here that I would hope that someone reads and kind of is like, oh, like, I met amazing men and women who, different backgrounds, but they all want to better their lives. It's like, I want someone to say, oh, there's like a lot of different people from different backgrounds doing this. And like, you can pick up little things if you're doing these longer copy, more authentic opening up, but you can sprinkle in other things in here that also might make them think, what is the business she's doing? Or what, like I'm asking my team, they might say, well, what team do you have? Like, what is this? This one's really long, you guys. So I'm going to read this just because I'm wanting to kind of hammer home the thing that, again, you do not have to feel like you need to write this long, drawn-out thing. And it is a little empowering when you're able to be 100% authentic. But this is when I spoke about, this is when I got my Cadillac. So it says, warning, raw post below. A year ago, I won a car from a company. Most people who qualified already had it picked out, the one that they wanted, test drove it, and as soon as they got word, they picked it up. I didn't. Even though the car was exciting and an accomplishment, it also meant one more thing I needed to do. Our company gives us a down payment and a monthly payment on our check, so we just needed to pick out a white Cadillac in any style that's 5 years or newer. So to me, this was overwhelming. Having to choose the car, find a dealership, get the payoff info for the car. The car I already have, test drive, find time for whatever. I'm listing all the stuff that it seemed overwhelming. And then I said the excuses in my head seemed to outweigh the benefit of actually getting the car. I was convinced it was too overwhelming for right now, and I didn't have time. So I knew I'd get around to it. Fast forward 2 days ago, almost a year to the date I qualified, I was speaking to my financial advisor and accountant and mentioned the car program, and both of them told me at the exact same time that they advised me to go get this car before the year is over to help offset taxes. That was all it took. Nothing changed with my circumstances other than I had a deadline and it would save me money. So in 2 days, I got laser focused, found a dealership, got my paperwork together, found a car, found all the info for financing, got my family, hauled up 30 miles to the dealership, and spent all day there yesterday, and I got the car. Here's what I know. We all tell ourselves stories of why we can't do things. But when it comes down to it, we can do whatever we put our mind to. And it's our mind that is stopping us from doing so much more. We are all capable, worthy, deserving, and so much more than we even realize. I'm glad I had this experience. Sorry, I have to move. My screen is covering this. Okay. I'm glad I had this experience with this car because every time I get into this car, it's going to do several things besides freak me out because it's so big. One, I'll be reminded about how blessed I am that I took a chance on network marketing as a profession and how a simple bottle of magic shampoo had changed my life in so many more ways than just one. Two, it will remind me that I have an amazing team. Thank you, Team Momentum, because you don't get to the top of a company without a team of motivated leaders going there with you. I'm so grateful, blessed, honored, and inspired to be reaching for our dreams together. Three, it will remind me that I need to reach out to one more person that day to educate them on what network marketing is and the simple system we have in place. How they too can experience time freedom, financial freedom, personal growth, all from their smartphone. This industry might not be for everyone, but everyone should at least be educated on it to see if it's the right choice for them and their family. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, every time I get in the car, it will remind me of the stories I tell myself that get in my own way. The stories that are not based in reality that take me out of my greatness. And it will remind me that even if I suffer from anxiety and depression, I can still be laser focused, driven, and achieve whatever I want when I tell myself I can. Okay, so that was really vulnerable and very much openly me admitting that literally I won this car a year ago and I did not go get it. and it's embarrassing, and it's also really what I was going through, and I shared it on Facebook, what was going on. And it got, not that I was just doing this for engagement, but it did get a lot of engagement from it. But I just want you guys to see, like, I used to I would never have posted something like this months ago. I am telling you that. And you can still build a business doing the other principles of attraction marketing. But if you can truly open up yourself, there can be, great things that can come from it. Okay, so that was the authenticity posts. So lastly, the do's and don'ts of Facebook networking. I'm just going to kind of run over really quickly because I know this kind of went a little bit long. And I apologize for that, but I thank you guys for sticking through it. The do's of Facebook marketing. Do complete your profile. You guys just make it look, like you want people to look at it at a glance and get an idea of who you are. Create curiosity around your company. Engage with your audience. Be interesting and add value and ask questions. Stay positive. Do Facebook Lives. Be true to yourself and authentic and brand yourself. What you don't want to do is be an infomercial. You don't want to plagiarize people. You don't only want to use text. You don't want to private message unsolicited links about your opportunity. You want to don't want to just brand your products only, and have your company or as your cover photo. You don't want to be negative, and you don't want to be polarizing. So these are just kind of a little wrap up of what we talked about. And then I just wanted to thank you guys for your time. I will keep you guys updated on the next training I'll be doing. And I do want to thank you guys for your time. If you have any questions, you can feel free to private message me or email me, and I will get the recording up for everybody's team who was unable to make it. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be talking to you guys later.